Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about why consistency is the most important skill or the most important kind of attribute to your business as an entrepreneur. So guys, like I say in this video, I'm going to be talking about consistency, the importance of it, and the real impact not being consistent and being consistent has on your social media marketing agency industry or any business that you're in for that matter. So I'm going to take you back to when I first started my social media marketing agency close to 4 years ago now. And being consistent was something I really struggled with. And I think it's something that a lot of people do struggle with, especially in the beginning when they're not getting results and they're not essentially being paid for that consistency. So and I understand that. So when you turn up, when you start a business, for a lot of people, unless you're like a true bred entrepreneur, as Gary Vee would say, in the sense that you find it very easy to turn up every day, a lot of people do really struggle to turn up every day and sit at a laptop for 3 hours, have a 4-hour cold calling session every single day when they're not being paid for it and those efforts aren't, being rewarded. And sometimes that's not being rewarded with money, that might be rewarded with just, responses or the amount of meetings that you get from your tasks. So it can be very demoralizing being consistent in the beginning. However, it's something you've got to get your head around and keep yourself accountable, which is another key attribute, and keep yourself accountable to the consistency within your business, because I guarantee you can stay consistent at social media marketing when you know how to operate correctly. So you're being consistent at the right things, not consistent at the wrong things. There is no reason why in 3 months you can't take your social media marketing agency to incredible places. And when I say incredible places, I don't mean getting to 100 grand a month in 3 months. In 3 months, a realistic expectation is to get your agency to around $5,000. As a complete beginner that has no previous sales experience. If you've got previous sales experience, then it's going to be very easy to get a lot higher than that because you know how to sell, you know how to convert meetings. But if you're a complete beginner like I was, to get to 5K a month in 3 months is very achievable. I personally didn't. It took me 6 months to sign my first client of 1,500, and then I lost them after 3 months. So that's not talking from personal experience because I didn't know what I was doing. If I did know what I was doing and what I know now, I'd get to 10K a month within 2 months just because I have the skill set now. However, the only way you're going to develop that skill set is by being consistent. And the way I look at consistency in, a sales-based job and in a service-based business is your outreach. It's kind of like throwing loads of rods into a pond. If you just throw one rod, say you're on the coast fishing. If you throw one rod into the sea, I'm not a fisherman, so just don't be technical with me here. You throw your rod into the sea. If you throw one rod into the sea, you've got a chance of catching a fish. But if you throw 100 rods into the sea, you theoretically are going to have 100 times more chances of catching a fish. And that's the same with outreach. The more outreach you do, the more chance you're going to have to book a meeting. And therefore, the more meetings you have, the more chance you're going to have to sign a client. So if you're not consistent and you send, 10 messages on Monday, 3 on Tuesday, 1 on Wednesday, Thursday, you take the day off, and then you do 40 on Friday. Let's say that adds up to 100. But me, I show up every single day, do 100 cold calls from Monday, 100 on Tuesday, 100 on Wednesday, and so on. And that amounts to, I don't know, 1,000 in that week. I'm going to get to my goals 10 times faster than you are simply by doing 10 times the outreach. And it's really as simple as that. And when it comes to sales and outreach and meetings, it's so compounding. So what I mean by compounding is, say you send 100 messages out. Those 100 messages are now out into the universe. Those, 50 of them might not be interested. 25 of them come back immediately saying not interested. However, the final 25 that are interested, some of them might reply to you in a year's time. And we've had that. I've sent a message to someone and then they've replied over a year later to that message. And that's what I mean. So the more messages you get out, the more kind of fishing rods you have in the sea, that over the next 6 months may come back to you and catch a fish. So it's so important that you are showing up every day to make sure that you've got, you're putting your rods out there every day. You're starting at the most amount of conversations possible. You're putting yourself in the best possible position to book the most amount of meetings. because it is a funnel. Like, it starts off with, say, 1,000 cold calls. They're going to go to 100 meetings, and they're going to go to 10 clients. So if you just multiply your outreach, that's naturally going to funnel down into more clients. So if you only did 100 cold calls, that's going to only lead to 5 meetings and half a client. Or, go the other way. You do 10,000 calls, that's going to lead to 1,000 meetings and then 100 clients. So that it really is that, providing that the outreach you're doing is effective and you're following the best practice. So in terms of being consistent every day, guys, and like I say, that is probably the most important factor of becoming a successful SMMA owner / entrepreneur, is to be consistent. And the way you need to do that is build in your SMMA work or your business work into your routine. So when I first started, I, without fail, woke up at 5 a.m. And this isn't going to work for everyone. You can just fit it into your daily routine. So I went from 5 a.m. till probably 9 a.m. and I did pure LinkedIn outreach. And at the time, 4 years ago, LinkedIn outreach for cosmetic practices, dental practices, dermatologists, hair transplant clinics, LinkedIn was by far the best way to sign one of those clients, combined with cold calling. So what I did, and you can just manipulate this to what's hot at the minute, is I put that time aside every single day, and I never negotiated with myself to turn up at that time. I never said I don't feel like it. I never said I don't want to do it today. I turned up no matter what. And in that time period, I just bashed out all of my LinkedIn outreach in that first 4 hours of the day. And then once it got to a time where I could call them, that's when I called them, between 9 and 5. Obviously, I couldn't call them at 5 a.m. However, getting up at 5 a.m. before everyone was awake, before there was any distractions, notifications started coming through on my phone, I just sat there and did all of my messages. And that way I stayed consistent for months and months and months, and eventually got my agency off the ground. So I think a really nice piece of advice, if you're struggling to stay consistent with your agency, is firstly, forget about a transaction from that task. The same way you get up and you brush your teeth every day, you need to get up and put your work into your business and not worry about, is this time making any money? I'm not getting anything back from it. You just need to say, no matter what, for the next 6 months, I'm going to turn up every single day, and these are the tasks I'm going to do. And write a bullet point list. Say, right, every single day, I'm going to do 50 outreach messages on LinkedIn. I'm going to do 25 cold calls, and I'm going to qualify 100 new business owners. So, and then you set yourself a time. It is your consistency 2 hours. Mine was 5 a.m. Yours might be 7 p.m. at night when you get home from work. And do not stop. So don't make it 2 hour period. It can be whatever time it takes in order to get that list done. So there's no point you turning up for 10 minutes on a Wednesday just to say that you're being consistent. You did it that day. No, you need to be consistent for a solid chunk and a solid task selection. So you need to build those 3 bullet point lists of what you're going to be consistent with every day, and don't stop until they're done. Don't do half of them. Don't do a quarter of them. Don't do 99% of them. Don't negotiate with yourself, and make sure you do them. It's the only way you're going to stay consistent. And really, that's the only way you're going to find success in SMMA, because you've stuck at it. It's the absolute best piece of advice I can give. It's what literally got my agency off the ground, was by me being consistent. Because you'll find the more consistent you are, the more days you show up, naturally you're just putting yourself in those positions long enough for an opportunity to arrive. It's the people that don't turn up every day, they miss the opportunity. Whereas people that show up every single day, if you put, it's like when you're I'm going to use a football / soccer analogy. If you're playing as a striker in football, any good manager will say you need to be on the last man, and you need to be in the 6-yard box on an attack, because why would you not want your striker in the best opportunity to score a goal, which is in the box, and on the final man for a break? So you need to operate your agency in that way, in the terms of you need to be putting yourself in the position for when an opportunity comes along, you score that goal, you sign that client. Whereas when you don't turn up every day, a ball comes into the box, your striker's not in there because he's on the sidelines talking to John, and he doesn't score the goal, he doesn't sign the client. It's the best analogy I can give. So hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Let me know if you have any questions or any struggles with staying consistent. And yeah, hope you enjoyed that video. Please subscribe if you've not watched our previous video. The previous video was what I believe is destroying the social media marketing agency industry from the inside out, what to look out for, and really the state of the social media marketing agency, what I'm seeing on these viral TikToks. Super interesting video. Give it a watch, give it a listen if you're listening on Apple Music and Spotify. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. for tomorrow's video.